In a small princely kingdom, a boy named Gautama was born to the royal family. The day he arrived, wise sages predicted his destiny. This child will grow to be either a great emperor or a great sage. The king, hearing this prophecy, was determined to ensure his son would never choose the path of a sage. He thought, if Gautama never sees pain or suffering, he will have no reason to seek a life of renunciation. From that day, Gautama's life was meticulously controlled. He was surrounded by only the finest pleasures, a life of comfort, beauty, and abundance. No pain, no sorrow, and no hardship were allowed near the young prince. A life of pleasure. Gautama grew up in unparalleled luxury. By the time he turned 19, his father arranged for him to marry a beautiful young woman. Together they lived in a grand palace, isolated from the world outside. Here, Gautama knew only joy and contentment, or so it seemed. But despite the beauty around him, Gautama began to feel a strange emptiness. Something within him stirred, a quiet longing for answers to questions he couldn't yet articulate. The day of revelation. One day Gautama asked his charioteer, "Take me outside the palace walls. I wish to see my people and their lives." The charioteer hesitated, knowing the king's orders, but Gautama insisted. Reluctantly, he obeyed. As the chariot rolled through the bustling streets, Gautama saw something that shook him to his core. First, he saw an old man, frail, hunched, and struggling to walk. Gautama, confused, asked, "What happened to this man?" The charioteer replied, "My lord, he is old. This happens to everyone as they age." Gautama was stunned. "Even me? Will I also grow old like this?" "Yes, my prince. If you live long enough, you too will age." This realization unsettled him, but they continued their journey. Next, they came across a man lying on the ground, writhing in pain. Gautama leaned forward, his face filled with concern. "What is wrong with this man?" "He is sick, my lord," the charioteer replied. "Illness can strike anyone, no matter who they are." "Even a prince like me?" "Yes, my lord. No one is immune." Gautama's unease deepened. Finally, they encountered a funeral procession. A lifeless body was being carried on a wooden stretcher, surrounded by grieving family members. Gautama's voice trembled as he asked, "What is happening here?" "This man has died," said the charioteer. "Death comes for everyone, my prince. It is the inevitable end of all life." At that moment, Gautama felt the weight of existence pressing down on him. "What is the purpose of this life?" he thought, "if it ends in old age, sickness, and death? Why am I indulging in fleeting pleasures when everything is so temporary?" The inner turmoil. Gautama returned to the palace, but the revelations haunted him. The laughter of his wife and the innocence of his baby boy could not erase the questions that consumed his mind. He struggled, torn between the love for his family and the undeniable pull to seek the truth. For over a year, Gautama wrestled with these thoughts. He often stared at the night sky, asking himself, "Is there a way to escape this cycle of suffering? Is there a deeper truth to life?" The Great Departure. One night, as the palace lay silent, Gautama made a decision. He kissed his sleeping wife and child goodbye and slipped out of the palace, his heart heavy with sorrow but filled with determination. As he rode away into the darkness, he whispered to himself, "I will not return until I find the truth about life and suffering." The beginning of a journey. The story ends with Gautama walking into the wilderness, his silhouette disappearing into the vastness of the forest. He was no longer the prince of a kingdom. He was a seeker, embarking on a journey that would change the world forever.